Hey guys, Alex here with Serious Goose Games. Welcome to the first video in a series where we will make a mobile clicker game, similar to Cookie Clicker or Tap Titans. Clicker games are also known as idle or incremental games, and the idea behind them is that the player doesn't have to actively play them. So when you open Unity Hub, any projects you already have created will show up here. If you are brand new, there will be nothing here, and you need to click this blue New Project button. After you do that, you want to scroll down to find the 3D mobile template. Select that, download template. After that, you can give your project a name. You can also choose its location. And once that's done, you can hit the blue Create Project button. Once your project is open and it finally loads, you will see the default Unity layout. If you don't like how this is set up, you can drag and drop these windows around to create a layout that works better for you. I have a layout that I like to use, and in my layout, I have the scene view and the game view docked so that both are visible. I've got the hierarchy, inspector, and project folder all next to each other, so I'm not moving my mouse all over the place. And my console docked at the bottom, also always visible. So the first thing we want to do is set ourselves up for success. So I'm going to click on this README asset in the project folder and click Remove README Assets. Then proceed. Next, we're going to add a couple folders. So I'm going to right click in my project folder, go to Create Folder. This first one's going to be Scripts. Then I'm going to create one for Art. And then I'm going to create one for prefabs. Now, because I want to try and have something visual to show in each episode, we're going to create a basic GUI setup so we can see how things are going to look. First, we're going to toggle 2D mode by going into the scene view and clicking this little 2D button. That's going to flatten everything. And then I'm going to get rid of the global volume and the directional light from our scene in the hierarchy. The other thing you want to make sure you do is in the game view, you have game display 1, and then you have the resolution. Yours might be set to free aspect by default. I have a custom one that I added. So if you hit this plus button, you can give it a name. Mine is vertical. Type fixed resolution, width and height. So for me, I did 1080 by 1920 to create kind of that vertical portrait orientation. So when I design, everything's going to kind of revolve around that resolution. Next, I'm going to grab the main camera. We're going to scroll down to environment, and where it says background type, instead of skybox, we're going to do solid color. I'm just going to leave it as this default blue. We can change it later. You can change it to whatever you want. And that kind of is going to be the theme with a lot of what we do as far as UI and aesthetics go. I'm going to show you guys what we need. But as far as positioning and scaling and like where to put things, it's honestly up to you. Like it's not going to change how any of it works as long as, you know, you're following not horrendous UI design principles and things aren't overlapping in weird ways. The next thing we're going to do is right click in our hierarchy, go to UI, and we want to create a canvas. And then I'm going to double click on that in the hierarchy so that our scene view snaps to it. Now, when we create the canvas, it also creates an event system. These two things together will handle all of the UI things that we need to do, like pressing buttons and interacting with the game in general, because our game is going to be 99% UI based. Next, we're going to right click on our canvas. We're going to go down to UI, and we're going to add text Mesh Pro. This is going to pop up a little window called TMP Importer. We want to import the essentials, but not the examples and extras. So after you import the essentials, you can close it. That gives us some text in the middle of our screen. We can position this wherever. I'm going to put it a little bit more to the top. And I'm going to name this text Money Display. I'm going to change the text to say money. I'm going to set it to auto size because why not? And then I'm going to center align it vertically and horizontally. Now we're going to create the button that we actually click. So I'm going to right click on my canvas, go to UI. We're going to select a button. This will be our click object. So if we're doing something like Cookie Clicker, this would end up being a cookie. If we're doing Tap Titans, this would be one of the Titans. We could swap out the image. We're going to expand this drop down in the hierarchy and delete the text object that comes with it. We just need the button. I'm going to change its width and height to both be 500. I'm going to kind of keep it in the center of the screen. I'm not going to move it. Next, I'm going to right click on canvas again, go to UI, go to panel. And this creates a panel, which I like to use as kind of a container for other things. So this is going to be our upgrade panel. So in the inspector, I'm going to click on where it says stretch. This is where you can set the anchor preset. I'm going to set it to be the bottom center. I'm going to change its Y position to be 275. Again, you can just manually do this to whatever looks nice for you. I'm just telling you what I have. We're going to change the size to be 550 tall, and the width is going to stay at 1080. So this panel is going to hold our upgrades. It might change later depending on how we decide to tackle upgrades. We might have kind of cookie clicker style upgrades where each upgrade is like one thing that shows up, or we could do different types of upgrades where you can buy the upgrade multiple times. So we'll see what direction we go. The main thing we're doing in this series, at least at the start, is just kind of throwing as many mechanics as possible in so that you guys can take what you need from it. And eventually I'll nail down an actual design and we can turn what we have into a full game. So now on our upgrade panel, we're going to go into the inspector to add component. We're going to add a grid layout group. The cell size is going to be 250 on both dimensions. The start corner is going to be the lower left, and child alignment is middle center. And then we're going to change the spacing to 25 for both dimensions. Now that we have that grid layout group, if I right click on upgrade panel and I go down to UI button, it's going to automatically size and position the button. And this button is going to be called click upgrade. Now on this button, it comes with text. We're going to rename this text to upgrade name display, and I'm going to scale it so it kind of takes up the top. We'll change the text to say click upgrade. And then I'm going to duplicate that text by selecting it and hitting Control D. And I'm going to drag it down. This will be our upgrade description display. I'm going to auto size both of these. And I'm going to duplicate the description text again. And I'm going to bring it down all the way to the bottom. And this is going to be our upgrade cost display. So with that done, I'm going to select the entire button. I'm going to Control D to duplicate it. And the second button is going to be our idle upgrade. And because we have the grid layout group, it automatically positioned the buttons for us. We didn't have to do any of that. So this is a rough idea of what things will look like as we progress. Now it doesn't do anything yet, so in the next video we're going to add functionality to our little button, so our money will go up every time we click it. That's all for today though, so if you're excited to build this project along with me, hit like and help other devs find the series, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Which mechanics are you most interested in? For example, most idle games have some sort of prestige system. Some have tycoon elements mixed in. I'm a fan of the slow jerk progression style of many idle games, where content is slowly introduced as you progress. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex with Serious Goose Games, and I'll see you in the next one.